Tonight, we report on the body found in Moses Lake and the explosions of color in Ephrata. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Quincy captures his first state soccer championship, and local athletes perform well at the state track and field meet. Stay tuned and I'll fill you in on all the details. Here's a peek at our Weather Center forecast.
And our forecast coming up later in the newscast calls for a very tranquil pattern, above normal temperatures continuing, and not much chance for any precipitation. All the details coming up.
I'm Alan Troop, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Boaters discovered what appears to be the body of Benjamin Patino Nunez in Moses Lake Saturday afternoon. According to Moses Lake Police, the clothing and physical appearance seemed to match Nunez, a 25-year-old Quincy man. Nunez has been missing since May 25th, when he reportedly fled from police by jumping into the lake. Moses Lake Police stopped a Toyota pickup on North Stratford Road near the intersection with Knowles Vista Drive. As the officer was taking Nunez into custody for allegedly driving under the influence, he fled toward the lake. According to Moses Lake Police, Nunez was not handcuffed when he fled police. A fun run caused an explosion of color in Ephrata this weekend. Reporter Vivian Huang has the story.
A swarm of white shirts and tutus served as blank canvases at Patrick Park in Ephrata for the first ever Dash of Color 5K run on Saturday. Hosted by Columbia Basin Hospital, the race included 4 color blasting zones along the route as participants rushed to the finish line.
For me personally, it was nuts, but for everybody else, I've heard nothing but great things, and everybody has said that they wanted to see it again and do it again, so I think everything went really well, and I'm really pleased.
Lodi said the event was inspired by similar races that are popular in more metropolitan cities. All proceeds benefit Columbia Basin Hospital.
No, we have our remodeling pretty much done for. We got a bond back, I think 2010 or 2011, and it'll probably go to some equipment. I'm not really sure. We haven't really discussed where the money should go to, but you know, we've got a few areas of need and some equipment needs and that kind of stuff, so that's what it usually will go to.
Lodi hopes to make the Dash of Color an annual event.
Thank you everyone who participated and who helped out and who gave suggestions, any of that kind of stuff. It's greatly appreciated. We couldn't have done it without you.
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Vivian Huang.
Thanks, Vivian. A 26-year-old male witness chased a man he saw jump out of a car after it struck 2 cars parked on Division Street in Moses Lake on Friday night. The driver reportedly exited the 2001 Cadillac Seville and left it disabled in the street as he ran, according to police records. The witness chased him and caught the driver near Grant Street, holding him for police. Pablo Fidelio, a 23-year-old Moses Lake resident, was arrested for hit and run and DUI. Kids in Moses Lake were treated to fishing on the weekend. Here's the story.
Hundreds of fish were flying out of Cascade Park Saturday morning for the Moses Lake Park and Recreation Kids Fishing event.
Everybody kind of comes together. It's a great event. You know, you get a whole bunch of kids down here. This year, our numbers are down for some reason. We always are conflicting something during the spring weekends, whether it be graduation or triathlon or whatever. And some years have been higher, some years have been lower as far as our numbers go. So this year we've got 1,500 fish out there that are guaranteed to be cooperative. The guys that brought them in, we brought them in yesterday, put nets out on the lake, as you can see behind me. Put a couple areas out on the dock where we can stock the fish, and then we stock the 1,500 fish by bucket. Threw them on out there.
While fishing derbies are common in Moses Lake, Haru said this event is just for the kids.
The Moses Lake Irrigation District does an actual fishing derby earlier in the year, held out at Conley Park, where they actually have competitions, you know, and they'll stock some bigger trout. For us, it's just about kids catching fish. It's not competitive. Although the one year when my son was 8 and the 4-year-old girl next to him caught a 24-inch fish, he was a little jealous and a little ticked off about that. He didn't think that was fair at all. But for the most part, it's all about kids coming down and actually catching a fish. So it's the first one that we really do in the spring that is really geared towards kids. So it's a really cool program. It's a lot of fun. If you stick around, you'll see a lot of screaming little kids out here catching their first fish, and it's very entertaining to watch. So.
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Vivian Huang.
Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
And we'll be right back after this.
We believe in home and all the magical things that come with it. We believe in living rooms with forts made from sofa cushions and blankets. We believe in the man cave, the woman cave. And finally, we believe that our calling in life is to find the home that's perfect for you. Coldwell Banker, fulfilling dreams for over 100 years.
Well, one thing I knew from being a patient myself was that a dental office is a scary place to come to. And so we wanted everything possible to make sure that our office is a comfortable place for our patients to visit. The patients that I have, my clients, have made me a part of this community, and we want to give back in every way possible.
And hi there, everybody. I'm meteorologist Don Morelli with you on this Monday night into our Tuesday morning. Your forecast, of course, here on iFIBER Channel 1 News Weather is brought to you by Bud Cleary Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And of course, it's a rather tranquil time frame for the next couple of days, sunny days ahead. The big thing is that temperatures are still going to be way above normal for the time being, and it'll be a little breezy at times. And all in all, nothing really going on to watch anytime soon. Maybe by the weekend, a cold front coming on right now. The models are not showing it. It's just that it shows signs of a little bit of a change by Sunday, Monday. So I have the forecast pretty much the same through the next 7 days, but I'm putting that little caveat in there, as weathermen always do. Something might change on Sunday. 86 and 58, the extremes today, which of course is above the normals of 77 and 51. Records 99 and 38. So again, a little bit on the toasty side out there. 86 and 53, the extremes in Moses Lake, a little closer to the normal overnight low at least, but still well above the daytime high. And 96 again was the record. Currently outside, a nice evening taking shape, 86 degrees, 42 degree dew point, 25% relative humidity. The breeze not too bad now, but occasionally gusty at times today, and I think more so the next couple of afternoons. Particularly in the afternoon, evening hours, the best chance for a gusty breeze or two. Taking a look at the forecast for clouds and precipitation. Most of the afternoon heating working in the mountains, of course, and that's where most of the showers are, but overnight they fall apart. And you see not much going on. You see a little system coming out of British Columbia that scoots across northeastern sections of the inland northwest. But after that, looking very, very quiet, at least through midweek. So really very tranquil weather taking shape. So let's take a quick look at the forecast for the state, why don't we? And again, looking very nice even across the Cascades into the Puget Sound area. The lower 60s along the Court. Port Angeles around 61 degrees, but generally the 70 degree mark for the daytime high. Inland Northwest right around that 80 degree mark, upper 70s, lower 80s. And of course here in the Columbia Basin, we're getting even toastier with temperatures into the mid 80s with plenty of sunshine. You can see a very pleasant afternoon on tap, but I think winds will be a little stronger, maybe 20, 25 miles an hour at times from the northwest. Looking at the breeze to be occasionally gusty the next couple of days, maybe a few passing clouds at times. And again, Sunday, there are signs of a cold front coming, so we'll have to watch it. Right now we're going for the mid-80s, and really mid-80s pretty much the whole time, except for Thursday, a little dip in the thermometer, but all in all, who's complaining? Don't complain about sports because it's coming up right after this, so stay with us.
Hi, Jan. Welcome to the Toyota Time sales event.
We're looking for something safe with a really smooth ride. He's a very light sleeper.
Oh, the Camry's safe and has a smooth, comfortable ride.
Oh, the Camry's perfect.
And you're in luck. It's Toyota Time, so it's a great time for a great deal.
Yes! You can lease a new 2014.5 Camry for $209 a month for 24 months with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance included. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. Toyota, let's go places.
At Moses Lake Community Health Center, we have had the privilege to serve the local communities since 1978.
What I like about working at this clinic more than any other clinic that I've worked at is the patient care. With the patient care team that we've assembled, it allows us to take care of these many facets of the patient and their family's needs.
Please take the opportunity to experience the high-quality care provided at our clinics.
Welcome back. I'm Bob Kirkpatrick with today's local sports. Francisco Alejandra scored in the 64th minute, and the Quincy Jacks held off University Prep 1-0 to claim their first state championship in boys soccer Saturday. Alejandres fractured one toe and sprained two others in a semi-final match with Chelan Friday and was doubtful heading into the contest. But he gutted out the injuries to lead his team to the title. It is the first time the team has brought home championship hardware since the program began in 1999, and only the second time Quincy has been crowned state champs in any sport. Baseball was the first to do it in 1998. Moses Lake softball went 2-2 to finish 7th at the 4A softball state championships in Spokane over the weekend. It was a real duel from the circle as both pitchers were on their game, but the Lady Chiefs were able to edge out a 2-1 win over Battleground in Game 1 Friday. Moses Lake led 1-0 after 2 innings of play. The Tigers threatened with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the third, but were unable to get a runner home. The Chiefs' Tressa Radich hit a triple to right field to get things started in the bottom of the 4th for Moses Lake. Alyssa Balderas picked up her second RBI of the game on a single to score Radich to make it 2-0. Battleground put a run on the board in the top of the 5th to close the gap to 2-1. But that was as close as the Tigers got, and Moses Lake came away with the win. Moses Lake dropped its second game to Bethel 8-2 and was knocked down into the consolation bracket. The Chiefs rebounded with a 14-4 thrashing of Wenatchee in the third game of the day to stay alive in the tournament. But Moses Lake was shut out by Richland 2-0 Saturday morning to end their season. Wharton softball took an earlier than expected exit from 1A Girls State Softball Championships after dropping 2 of 3 games on Friday at the Columbia Playfields in Richland. Wharton took care of business with an 8-1 win over Coupeville in Game 1, but the Cougars were roughed up by Hoquiam 14-4 in Game 2 and were bounced down to the consolation bracket. Wharton took an early 2-0 lead in their first at-bat. The Grizzlies tied the game 3-3 in the bottom of the third. But the wheels came off the bus for the SCAC district champion with Hoquiam exploding for 11 runs as Cougar ace Aaliyah Enriquez had control issues in the circle. Wharton needed to turn back Zilla in his third game of the day to advance to round 2 on Saturday, but the Cougars dropped a close 7-5 contest to the Leopards and were eliminated from postseason play. Well, local athletes performed well at the state meet over the weekend. Here's Sean Wells with the story.
Big crowd on hand for the 2A through 4A track and field state championships at Mount Tahoma High School. With beautiful Mount Rainier in the background, Ephrata's Jonathan Green got things started with a first place finish in the 2A 100 meters. Jonathan set a new state record in the 100 with a time of 10.61 seconds.
Feels great, man. I couldn't really explain to you how I felt. I still got 2 more races to go and all, but and I just got that one in the bag already. Feels like I'm off to a good start.
Jonathan's Ephrata High School teammates couldn't be happier to congratulate the new record holder.
One down, man!
In the 300-meter hurdles, Moses Lake's Alicia Oberlin broke her school record with a time of 43.6 seconds, placing 3rd overall in state. Alicia and Jonathan said the big crowd helped motivate them to historic finishes.
It's so nice. It's like huge compared to what we've all been at, so it's like the pressure's on and everything, but it's just fun to know all your friends, teammates, everyone's cheering you on, and everybody's out there, and just even hearing the crowd scream, even for the other teams, it just gets it going faster.
I love it every year. Yesterday wasn't really that nerve-wracking, but today's always a nerve-wracking day, and I mean, like, I hate it, but then when it's all over, it's all worth it.
In the field events, Ephrata senior Jacob Laird took first place in the 2A discus throw, while Moses Lake sophomore Heather Carbon broke her school record in the 4A pole vault with this vault.
Abby!
It feels really good. I'm super excited. I wanted to do more, but I'm just happy that I'm here.
Isaiah Brandt Sims of Wenatchee finished his high school career on a historic note, being the only athlete in state history to finish first in the 100 and 200 meters all 4 years of his high school career. For iFIBER 1 News, Sean Wells.
That's a great job, Sean. And that'll do it for sports. We'll be right back after this.
Game time.
Papa's in the house.
Wow, what's all this?
I'm all about stats. For instance, have I got some numbers for you? Papa John's, a leader in online ordering.
You bet, Jim.
You were the first pizza company to offer it nationwide. What's the secret?
Jim, it's the pizza.
To celebrate our online leadership, get Papa John's new double pepperoni and bacon pizza for just $12.
Better ingredients,
better pizza,
and a better way to get it, papajohns.com.
Just when I thought the blizzard couldn't get any better, DQ put the blizzard inside a waffle cone. This is mind-blowing. So when DQ asked me how I would tell the world, I said... Sounds better in Italian.
Pretty impressive, Liz. Any blizzard, like confetti cake, now in a fresh baked waffle cone. This is fan food, not fast food.
Our spotlight story tonight is about how the Port of Quincy plans to preserve access to the ancient lake trail. Reporter Jeff Chu has the story.
With its panoramic views of the rugged Columbia River Gorge, desert waterfalls, deep coulees, small and large lakes, and wildlife, the ancient lake trail is a popular place. The Port of Quincy commissioners see a private land purchase as a way to preserve recreational access to state and federal lands at the end of Grant County's Ancient Lake Road, southwest of Quincy. Port commissioners, hearing positive support for their proposal to purchase 87 acres of farmland from Dave and Jean Bishop, initiated a $1 million purchase agreement with the Bishops. Closing on the deal is slated for April 2015. The port applied for grant funding from the Washington Wildlife and Recreation Program and the Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund. Port Commissioner Kurt Morris approached Dave Bishop with the idea.
Dave has been looking to sell the property, and then the thought came up is that there's a tremendous amount of people down there, and one of the port's components and mission statements is tourism. So with that tourism component, I did go down, and there was over 100 people down there the day that I was there. I mean, some backcountry horsemen, some day hikers, some mountain bikers, and it's kind of like, what would happen if a private entity bought it and closed it off? Then the gateway is closed off, and that's where we came up with the idea. Maybe that's something that the port should take a look at.
The acreage has been owned by Dave Bishop's family since 1951, a time when wild horses still roamed the area. Today, Bishop grows alfalfa on the land and also leases it to Ryan Patrick Vineyards, which grows wine grapes there. Bishop showed the property's general boundaries. The property already has a recreational user parking lot at the end of Ancient Lake Road and other trailer parking nearby, which Bishop helped the state develop.
There's multiple uses, actually. Last weekend we hosted 35 kids from University of Bellingham. It's a Western University of Bellingham. It was a geology and a geography class, 2 professors and all their kids. The one professor's been coming here for 12 years to dig holes and look at the geology. Backcountry horse people are here all the time. Some were here yesterday. On any given weekend, there'll be 20, 30 horse trailers parked out here. And again, it's a trailhead for this public property. It's about the only way to get out on there, other than a little parking lot down here at the mouth of Ancient Lake. And there's very limited amount of room there maybe 20, 30 cars, and the horse trailer's got nowhere to go.
The Bishop's House was built in 1980 and is expected to remain as an interpretive center overlooking the Columbia River and a spring-fed lake brimming with wild birds. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
We will be right back after this.
Bud Clary Ford Honda is proud to be an automotive leader in our area. Since opening our doors over 54 years ago, we have kept a firm commitment to our customers. We offer a wide selection of vehicles and hope to make the car buying experience as quick and hassle-free as possible. You can trust that we will get you into the car or truck of your dreams. Bud Clary has an experienced and reliable service and parts department that is open extra hours to help fit our customers' hectic schedules. Come for a test drive today at 1200 South Pioneer Way. We are a proud supporter of Columbia Basin Athletics.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Kono. I am your local iFIBER Farmers Insurance Agent. Here at Cheryl Kono Insurance Agency, our customers always come first. We don't just work here, we live here. Please stop by the office, call, email, or Facebook me for a free auto, home, life, business, or farm and ranch quote today. We are insurance. We are farmers. Come in for a free quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Federal agents have placed ropes and flags on a 5-acre island in the Potholes Reservoir in an attempt to discourage nesting by a colony of Caspian terns that have been taking a big bite out of the endangered fish runs in the upper Columbia River. The 900 birds on Goose Island are blamed for taking more than 10% of the young wild steelhead and 15% of hatchery steelhead as they try to make their way each spring to the ocean. The terns are eating as many as 130,000 juvenile steelhead and salmon each year, and the impact is greater than the loss from a larger colony of Caspian terns at the mouth of the Columbia, where there are a greater variety of fish. In Northwest news, 6 climbers who were taking on one of Mount Rainier's most dangerous areas are presumed dead. It's believed they fell 3,000 feet, and as KCPQ's Hannah Kim reports, rescuers are now on a recovery mission.
This is the treacherous terrain of Mount Rainier where 6 climbers are believed to be buried. You can see a Chinook helicopter hovering in this picture. This afternoon, aerial crews spotted climbing and camping equipment littered over a debris field, but no bodies. Rescuers say the climbers fell 3,000 feet.
Basically, this search has come to a very tragic end. It's not viable that anybody would survive.
On Monday, 4 climbers and 2 experienced guides with Alpine Ascents International took off for a 5-day climb of Liberty Ridge.
It is one of the most dangerous areas in the park.
It's covered in snow, ice, and jagged rocks. The steepness is up to 50 degrees. Alpine Ascent's website says climbers have to carry 50-plus pounds of equipment, climbing for up to 8 hours a day. On Wednesday evening, the guides checked in by satellite phone saying they were okay, but weather was coming in. The group expected back Friday was never heard from again. Employees at Alpine Ascents are reeling from the loss.
We're all devastated. I mean, watching, climbers take a fall, get injured, get killed. I mean, it's always a reminder of how difficult the sport can be.
Up until today, helicopter crews were getting beacon signals from the climbers. This was a JBLM crew training earlier this week for just this kind of emergency.
It's important that we look for the cues of shifting weather patterns while we're on the mountain. The weather changes very rapidly on Mount Rainier.
They analyze the dangers from above, sending crews down when possible, but in this case, rescuers say it's too dangerous for ground crews.
Energy Northwest is paying a record nearly $4.4 million in privilege taxes to the state of Washington. The annual tax is levied on public power utilities for the privilege of generating electricity in the state. Energy Northwest, operator of the only nuclear power plant in the state, paid its tax today. The amount is tied to the amount of electricity generated. The Columbia Generating Station's production of nearly 8.5 million megawatt hours last year significantly contributed to the record-breaking privilege tax paid by Energy Northwest. A memorial for the victims of the Oso landslide was held over the weekend, and hundreds turned out to show their support.
A community walk was held this weekend to remember those killed by a deadly landslide earlier this year. Dozens of people attended a prayer and a moment of silence at the memorial tree in Oso on Saturday. After the prayer, the community walked along State Route 530, which also reopened on Saturday. Walkers say they can still see signs of the devastation around them.
Still amazing. You know, there was houses here, and now there's none.
Even as we're all walking, what people don't get to see is the real tragedy behind this berm. I mean, what Mother Nature is really capable of doing, and with no notice.
And that's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.